Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the.
Before we start today's episode, I'd just like to say a big thanks to the sponsor of the podcast, Recovery. Recovery is their natural choice to rugby recovery. Recovery sells CBD treatments from 15mg all the way up to 2000mg, and prices range from just £7 up to £97 to help be budget friendly for all. If you're interested in buying CBD oils for all your needs, then Recovery is the place for you. Visit recovery.com or simply click the link in the description for more information and use the code DROPGOAL in all capitals at checkout for a 10% discount on all of your purchases. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Drop Goal podcast. It's been a while, but today we're back with another absolute belter of an episode. Today we have on the podcast the man, the myth, the legend, the work-a-holic, and the founder of Cleveland Rugby League. It's the man himself, Monte Gaddis. Welcome to the podcast, mate. How are you?
Thank you, man. I'm doing very well. I really appreciate you for giving me this opportunity. Let's get after it.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'm glad to get you on the show today. It's an absolute pleasure. We'll have a good talk about rugby league. So let's ease into the questions a little bit. So first off, mate, just a quick and easy question, like I said. What have you been doing today? What have you been up to? And how's your day gone?
Right now, just been putting down the groundwork for everything with Cleveland Rugby League. Me and Brady Payne have been really chiming in these last 2 weeks of getting everything in order. We got a combine coming up May 13th. We have a signing day coming up on May 1st. So we're just putting everything together, making everything right, just doing everything the right way.
Yeah, definitely. It's a brilliant concept that's coming up with the Cleveland Rugby League and also the North American Rugby League, which is a new franchise launched over in the States. So before we carry on, for anyone listening, if you're a rugby league fan, then you'd know that recently, like I just mentioned, there's been a new franchise of rugby league launched over in the States, consisting of 14 teams, 12 of which from the States and 2 from Canada, with staple names in the competition, such as Toronto, Ottawa Aces from Canada, as well as the Brooklyn Kings, Boston 13s, and of course, the Cleveland Rugby League. So Monte, would you mind explaining what your role is over with Cleveland Rugby League and what the plans are for the upcoming launch of the new NARL?
Okay, perfect. So I am the GM and the founder of Cleveland Rugby League. I'm also the head coach, and I will be playing this year. So I'm a man of multiple hats right now, but I could tell you one thing. I do have a great team around me, which team, not as in players, but the executive staff that's behind me. Of course, we got Glenn Morrison to be our director of rugby, he's putting in work for us, helping us out, making everything a smooth transition.
Yeah.
I got Brady Payne. He's a COO and marketing director. Keon Willis, director of quality control. Malik Duncan, player development. And we also have Isaiah Chambers, who's player personnel. So we've got things, putting things in the right places to bring people over. Just been working hard with everything, I'm just happy that, people are reaching out to us about, speaking about Cleveland Rugby League, because we really want to be the team, the fan favorite, and also the team that everyone thinks of when they mention the NARL.
Yeah, definitely. And Cleveland is definitely the team I'll be supporting for the launch of the 2021 season. So it's good to hear everything's going well. So we'll dive into the proper questions a bit more now. You're a trademark name in the sporting world at the moment, and you've been involved in different sports and different projects, traveling across Europe to play rugby league. You've really done it all. Is there one moment that stands above the rest when it comes to your life involved with sports, or would you class everything as just an extra step towards success?
Wow, what a wonderful question. Okay, that's actually a tough question. There's so many remarkable moments in my my sporting career. Just being able to travel, I'll tell you, traveling to Poland to play for 6 months in American football, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Being able to play in Belgrade, Serbia, was amazing. Another culture shock for me. Of course, being able to play in UK, United Kingdom, with Shawcross was amazing. I was able to also travel to Netherlands to play in the Rotterdam Nines tournament. It's just been awesome. I can really say American football and rugby league has really let me travel the world in places that I never thought of or mentioned in my life. And it's just been so amazing that, me coming from, a low income area, in Cleveland, Ohio, to be able to travel the world like this is just amazing to me, So sometimes during these interviews, I'm always getting interviewed. I'm answering questions, but just like now, I'm listening to myself answer the question. I'm just thinking like, wow, it's just been an amazing journey. I can't really pinpoint one beautiful thing, but I know one thing that I do really love about it is that the camaraderie of sports. The locker room, inside the locker room of American football and rugby league, are two different sports, but man, that brotherhood is one thing that always stuck with me. So I can just say that moment of just meeting players and becoming, brothers forever.
Yeah, it's brilliant. The rugby league family is a close knit community, and like you said, you've done everything. You've really done a lot. And rugby league and American football has given you those opportunities. So we'll take it back to the very beginning. You're a young lad growing up in Cleveland, Ohio, where the NFL and American football is a huge sport over in the States. Do you remember your first glimpse of professional sport, and what age did you start to get drawn into the game and get on your path towards where you are today?
Well, as you said, like I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and we are Cleveland Browns fans forever, So
Yeah.
we are the most loyal fans, during those bad seasons and everything, we're always the team to say, hey, we'll have it next year. We'll have it next year. So that was always instilled into me more than basketball or baseball. It was always football, the Cleveland Browns, Ohio State. So, at the age of 10 is when I started to sneak outside and play football, tackle football down the street. My parents, just to go in a little depth, with you, I haven't mentioned this on an interview in rugby league, but at the age of 1, I was diagnosed with a 1 in a million chance type of disease. It's called Hirschsprung disease, where they had to, cut inside my stomach, do some things internally. But I wasn't supposed to play any contact sports, long story short. So I used to sneak and play football, and all my friends used to tell me, hey, you should play organized football. You should play for this team. It was called George Moreau, So around the area in my neighborhood, kids used to call me Moose because, of course I got the big nose like a moose, but I ran so hard, and I'm still doing that to this day. So that's when it first started with me. And I started going to the practices, and the coaches loved me. They wanted to meet my parents. And I was like, oh, snap, my parents don't know about this. So one day I just had to tell my parents that I've been sneaking, going to practice. And they came up there. The coaches had nothing but great words to say about me, being on time, work ethic. And it's just been straight ever since. So I can really just say, like, at the age of 10, I really was thinking about, NFL and just changing my family's life,
Yeah, it's brilliant. And like you said, you had like a 1 in a million chance or anything to get this condition, yet you still push yourself and you still snuck out. Obviously, as a kid, it's a bit different, but you still had that motivation to go out and, really make the most of things, which is really good. Because obviously, like you said, you weren't meant to play contact sport, but you had that urge to, get involved and keep pushing yourself, which is really good. So growing up over in the States, were you always into athletics and trying to push your body to its limit, or did you urge yourself to keep fit and become athletic later on in life?
With me, before I could say athletics, I could say I was an artist first. I'll be honest with that.
Right.
And when I say artist, to think about that now, it's not just about drawing or, singing. I think it's all together. I'm a creative person, so I believe it's art. So I used to draw as a kid, but I used to love music also. So I remember having a headset, walking around with a CD player and just having crayons at the house. I used to draw so much. I would say like around the age of 9 years old, that's when I really started thinking more of athletic, start playing football, going outside, started riding bikes more. That's when my mom, I guess, was, I was at the age where she trusts me to go 3 houses down, and be active. So I guess once I started to be outside my neighborhood, you had to do something. You had to have a bike. You had to know how to play basketball, shoot a basketball, play football. So we had to be active in my neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a brilliant that at 9 years old you wanting to get involved, play all these sports. It's really good because obviously I think it's a bit different with kids growing up today because they're more playing on computers or whatever they're doing. But with you're outside with your friends all the time, playing all these different sports, which is brilliant, and I think is what we need more of across the world, definitely.
Definitely.
So you're known as one of the best athletes to grace the game of rugby league, coming from the States, and you've always had that dream of going pro. And now with the new NARL franchise launch, you can finally fulfill your dream. What opportunities does this new league bring for Cleveland, the sport, and of course yourself?
Well, I'll talk about myself last, but the new opportunities that that has came within the city is just, opportunity. I'm able to employ long-term friends and family members that, earned a position. I'm able to pay players actually for being able to play rugby league in Cleveland. It's just really unreal right now because rugby league is not big at all in my state, let alone my city. You get what I'm saying? So it's just me really trying to, the saying right now for me is trying to make a bubble with no soap, So as you heard me in different interviews, I'm forcing my way into, on people's being the fans' favorite of rugby. I'm forcing my way, letting the youth know, hey, there's another sport, there's rugby league here, or those second chance athletes that's got out of college and don't have anything to do. Hey, there's rugby league. So I'm trying to hit all avenues. And that's one of the reasons why I came out with this, the Cleveland Rugby League, my book. You probably can't see it right now at the moment, but I came out with the book just because I wanted to really enforce that on the community and the youth also.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll speak about your book quickly. It's the ABCs for Rugby League, I'm pretty sure. It's made by you, and it's a way to get kids more involved with rugby league, as well as a proactive and to encourage them to not only get involved with the sport, but also learn the ABCs like it says in the book. What was the driving motive behind that?
Well, my grandmother always told me I can be anything that I wanted to be. So I always wanted to be a superhero. So I feel like being on the cover of a book, for kids will put me in a position to be kind of like a superhero, I don't want to be a superhero of fighting the villains or anything. I just wanted to be that superhero where, I'm bringing a new sport. I'm bringing in a new face. And of course, it's kind of new to our culture, being a Black American also. So I wanted to bring just something new to, just something fresh to our city,
Yeah, definitely. And it's a brilliant idea, mate. And hopefully your book and many more to come, maybe. Hopefully that takes off and rugby league can really take off in the States. And of course, that'll be from help with you and everyone else involved. So we'll go to the start or thereabouts of your rugby league journey. Where did the spark come from? And when did you know that you wanted to play rugby league professionally?
Well, like I said, I played professional American football. I played for the Iowa Barnstormers. I was an arena team.
Yeah.
I ended up playing only 4 games. We had such a bad season. I had a bad game that they released me. They cut me on the 4th game. So right that day or the next day, I had to go home. So I was home. I started doing personal training. I was just trying to figure out what else is there for me to do. I'm still athletic. I still have the passion to do something. So I was just looking for that second chance. So I just started, working out and staying in shape. Next thing you know, Adam Fogarty, he's a big name, actor. Yes, of course, rugby league guy, boxer. He ended up calling me from a random number. I didn't answer the phone. So when I didn't answer, he left me a voicemail and he was telling me who he is and he's heard about me. I was like, wow. He ended up calling me while I was listening to the voicemail. So I answered and he just told me, I love the way you promote yourself. We heard about your story. How would you like to, convert from American football player to earn a contract with the Toronto Wolfpacks as a rugby league player? I was just like, wow, once the opportunity comes knocking, I had to do something about it. I was just asking for another opportunity and it came to my face. So I had to take that opportunity. Long story short, I ended up going to several trials, maybe 3 tryouts with the Toronto Wolfpack. They wanted me to keep coming to see if I was getting better and better. And I was. And that's when I really knew, like, wow, like I was chosen out of 300 plus athletes. 18 of us was chosen to fly over to the UK to earn a contract. And that's when I knew, like, I can do this. I've come this far. I know I can really do this. So that's when it really hit me.
Yeah, and it's crazy how, you were released from Iowa, like you said, but that you being released led to another journey starting in rugby league.
Yes,
It's just like going from a downtime in your career, and then all of a sudden a new journey is just you've been given the opportunity to prove yourself in another sport, which is absolutely amazing. So originally, when trying to make it in the NFL, I've read that you've actually had trials with Cleveland Browns after being named as defensive MVP at Towson University in 2013. What was it like getting trials with the Browns, and why do you think the contract didn't come to fruition in the end?
I'll be honest with that. I know that's been a lot said in the rugby league world, but I never got the opportunity to even get a tryout from any NFL team. Okay, I just want to put that out there. I'm always clearing that up. because I don't want to put that out there, but I was this close. I was so close to getting that contract. Same thing with the Toronto Wolfpack. I feel I was the same length of just getting the contract, but it just didn't land. Things didn't work out, bad timing. They probably didn't like what I was offering. It's a lot of things that play in effect. So I'm never mad about it, or I never regret what went on in the past, because, hey, I'm here now. I own my own club in my own hometown city. I'm loving what's going on. It's a grind, and I just never regret anything. It's time to press forward.
Yeah, of course, and it's brilliant like what you're doing now, because things might not have worked out in the past, but you carried on pushing yourself, and look where you are now. You're in a brilliant position. Like you said, your hometown. You've got your own rugby league club, which is sport which you enjoy and you've got a passion for. It's brilliant. So although that contract didn't work out, it's led you to new opportunities. And you're never going to get anywhere without trying, and you've carried on trying, and now you're in a brilliant position, which is brilliant. So although the contract didn't work out with the Browns, you were in fact offered a contract over in Poland, like you said earlier, with one of Europe's biggest American football teams. I think I'm saying this right, the Gdynia Seahawks. What was it like playing your beloved American football over in Europe as a born and bred American?
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, think about it. Like, when you first read that city, Gdynia, you didn't even know how to pronounce it. So, and I didn't either. So I'm thinking like, wow, what is this place, first of all? So, I had to do my research and Googled everything, looked at the players. But after doing my research, I really took the contract. And there was another offer that I was like, wow, I sat out a whole year of 2014 without playing any football just because I didn't get picked up for the NFL draft. So 2015 is when they reached out to me and I signed. And it was a leap of faith, to be honest. It was my first time going overseas, traveling by myself, living on my own for 6 months. I only lived on my own in college. And even with that, I had teammates and roommates. But this was the time where I was living on my own. It was amazing. It was definitely a culture shock for me. I could tell you one thing for all the people that's listening that never traveled overseas. Okay, as in America, we're used to getting paid maybe 90% of America gets paid maybe twice a month, every 2 weeks. Some people get paid every week. Right. I wasn't used to getting paid monthly, when I got to Europe. So that's when the whole financial literacy and savings really had to help me out. So maybe my third month into living in Poland, that's when I really figured it out. Growing up, I had to learn how to cook on my own, learn how to, go grocery shopping, just be very frugal with the money. So it was just a learning experience, and I loved it. I'll definitely go back, Ohio to Poland.
Yeah, of course, it was brilliant that you took that leap of faith. Like you said, you didn't really know much about it, and you took your chance, and it was brilliant. So you also had a stint with the Iowa Barnstormers, like you said, playing in the IFL. Can you tell me and the audience a bit about your experience with Iowa and what really is the indoor football league? Because I'm not too tuned in with American football, and maybe some of the audience are like, is it American football but indoors? Like, what really is it, and how does it differ from the normal game that everyone else knows?
Okay, so first off, I was interested in playing back into America after Poland, because I just wanted to, have another opportunity to make it to the NFL. So I was seeing what would be my next goal. So I had a teammate, Tim McGee. He actually helped me get on with Poland. I mean, he actually was my teammate in Poland, and he helped me get on with the Iowa Barnstormers. So with the Iowa Barnstormers, that's a former NFL player named Kurt Warner. He ended up, he played there, and that's what made the Iowa Barnstormers so big. But IFL is indoor football. You're in a basketball arena, basically where you see basketball players playing at. They lay down turf. They lay down the turf inside there, and that's where you see the indoor. You see guys getting hit over the walls and stuff like that. It's 8-on-8, and guys are in motion. It's similar. It's football, but it's not the same rules. Different rules from NFL, but it's just still football. But it was great. You didn't get paid as much, but I really feel like out of NFL, rugby league, and indoor football, I feel like indoor football may be the most physical of them all, to be honest, because you're at a fast pace all game. You're in a small box with people who so fast, like you're hitting all the time. So just something to think about.
Yeah, it's brilliant, because like I had no clue what indoor football league was, but you've had all these different opportunities, and now you're in a position where you can come onto a podcast or do an interview such as mine, and you can give the audience a little bit of insight onto different things you've done, and give maybe Indoor Football League might be something they now want to watch after hearing that. So it's brilliant. And after your stint with Iowa, you discovered the great game through a phone call from the ex-player converted into actor, like you said, Adam Fogarty. What exactly did he tell you that made you decide you wanted to crack rugby league, and that was it? You were smashing rugby league no matter what it took.
It was just awesome to hear somebody from across the pond with the accent calling my phone and just telling me about my story. So it was just amazing to hear that he heard about my story, heard about me trying to get a shot with the Cleveland Browns. He watched my film. He felt like I had all the physical attributes to be able to, have an easy transition to convert to a rugby league player. Yeah. And once he told me that it was in Toronto, so that's a chance to travel. And I started to think about rugby league. I'm like, rugby league is not that big in America, so it has to be more options to travel. It was just really a no-brainer for me. So I just took the opportunity. They were paying for the flights for me to go travel. And they also, even through that, they love my personality so much. I just want to give a round of applause to Toronto because they actually just put my name out there. They helped me become a household name. They told me that they love my personality so much that they were going to broadcast a show around me, so it was just awesome. I'm glad that, things are still going. I'm glad people have been watching me since then till now, just to see my progression on and off the pitch, so I'm just really growing, and it's never going to stop because I'm always learning and I'm always trying to challenge myself.
Yeah, and that's a brilliant mindset to have. You've had all these different opportunities, like I've said multiple times, but I just can't stop speaking about it because it's incredible that from where you've come from to where you are today. Countless times, like obviously your trials didn't work out with Toronto, like I'm going to mention in a minute. Obviously, you didn't make it in NFL, but you carried on pushing yourself because you knew you had the ability to do what you wanted to do. And now, like I've said many times, you're in a brilliant position now where you can speak about your journey and help other people with their journeys who might be going through similar things as you did, which is brilliant. So you started your journey in rugby league and were a part of the Toronto Wolfpacks' first ever game. You had trials 3 times in Toronto, Philadelphia and Tampa, in which you improved each time, like you mentioned before. You managed to get the opportunity to compete for a contract in the UK. What was it like trying to secure a spot at the Wolfpack, traveling across America for 3 different trials as well?
Man, it was amazing. Through that whole situation, in the back of my mind, I knew I was the underdog. I was maybe the only one. Me and Corey Knox, we didn't have a rugby background. We didn't have any rugby league background, let alone didn't know much about the sport. So I knew that I was at a disadvantage. I was the only one that came to all 3 tryouts. So I knew that I was putting forth the great effort. I was making sure that, the coaching staff saw that I had the passion for it. But it was just another challenge for me because they were all advanced and more experienced, but I still felt like I was one of the better athletes. So throughout this whole time in my progression and through rugby league, I can honestly always say I was always the best athlete, but I didn't have the knowledge and experience. Now, 5 years later, I can say that I have the knowledge and that I have the experience, So now it's all coming together. And I appreciate everybody, from my parents to coaches around the world and players, telling me that it's gonna take your time. I mean, it's gonna take time. Be patient with it, but stay in the arm wrestle, and that's what I've done. And now, look at the results. It's reaping rewards.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And you did mention that you always had the athletic ability, but you didn't have the knowledge of the game. But now you do. So I'll ask you a question: if you were to have trials at Toronto now, but they were back where they were, but you've got the experience and the athleticism, do you think you would have got a contract, honestly, at Toronto Wolfpack?
I won't even answer that question. I'll leave that for everyone that's tuned in right now for them to answer that question. So it's out of my hands. I don't really want to talk about the past or plan with them. So I'll let the fans and the supporters of everybody who's tuned in right now answer that question for me.
Yeah, it's a good little thing to think about, anyone who's listening. So despite not being handed a contract, you were still desperate to crack the code of league and were determined to push yourself further. You remained in the UK for 3 months or so to learn more about the sport, playing for the Shawcross Sharks in the
Yeah.
NCL division. What was it like being so far from home and developing your game over in the United Kingdom?
Man, that is just another story within itself.
Mm,
Shout out to everybody at Shawcross, Raven Sport, Mick and Brent Turner. Man, it was awesome. First of all, I miss the UK breakfast. I miss the breakfast style. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
I love that, and I really miss all the youth clubs that I went to over there to do my footwork drills. Those were awesome times. That's where the slow feet don't eat really came from.
mm,
Those kids helping me out with that, coming to my trainings and workouts. You know what? Just to get off subject, it was just awesome for me because I had so many American football trainings and footwork skills that I transferred over to rugby league, and
yeah,
now I'm using that with different players, and with the youth over there, I was showing them the ladder drill. I guess footwork and finesse wasn't a kind of a big thing in rugby league. There
mm-hmm,
was some players that had it, but I feel like most players will want to just run forward. Of
yeah,
course, you want to run forward, but there's a few times where you can make that step and make a guy miss. So,
yeah.
but just less contact, preserve the body just a little bit more. But that's what I'm all about because I love to hit on the defensive side. I know on the offense I can't do the same thing. So I just like to get my feet involved. So that's what I'll try to do with the youth. And that's what really helped me out in the UK. That really helped me turn my game up where I needed to be. I dove into the culture.
Mm-hmm.
They helped me out with learning all the plays, learning the terminology, learning how to drink. I still don't know
Yeah.
how to drink, but they helped me out with that. It was just awesome, man. And then that's when I got the opportunity to meet a lot of great players, a lot of coaches. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to go to the East match, a Castle's first match. I met a
Yeah.
plenty of players. Met Glenn Morrison, was able to train with his team and also do footwork drills with them. So it's just amazing times, man.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate, and I keep saying it, but the opportunities you've had, one in a lifetime. And I'm sure you're grateful for that.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
it's a brilliant thing what you've been able to do. You've travelled across the world, and it's every kid's dream. To make it in professional sport, travel across the world. You've really done it all. So I just want to give you praise for that because
I
from where you've come
appreciate that.
from in America, where rugby league's from what I'm aware of, it's not really known of.
You're
To
correct.
now, where you're owning a club in America, there's a whole professional league of rugby league starting up, and you've travelled across the world to try and improve your game and expand your knowledge as well as expanding the sport. It is brilliant, mate. So I just want to praise you on that because it's brilliant.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot, man. Just to sit back and just really listen to what you're saying, what I've been through and accomplished. Like it really means a lot just for somebody in the rugby league world to be able to give me my flowers here. So I just tell you, I really, really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no worries, mate. You deserve all the praise. And speaking about praise, you recently posted on your Instagram story, which I'll leave a link to all of your socials in the description over on YouTube for anyone who wants to go and
Awesome.
check it out. You posted on your story all the praise you've received from many notable names, sorry, and figures of rugby league. Andrew Henderson, who is currently the assistant coach at Warrington Wolves, who we also had as our first ever guest on the podcast. He said he respected the grind and your journey, as well as the Super League themselves posting on social media saying they wish you all the best, which must have been amazing. But there
Yes.
was one particular comment which caught my attention. I can't quite remember who it was, but he said he played against you when you were at Shawcross Sharks, and he thought that you ran rings around everybody. You were constantly breaking through tackles and were just a complete athlete. Do you think at Shawcross Sharks you were very capable athletically, and do you think you could have made it in professionally at that point?
I'm gonna be honest with myself. I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so. I think the Wolfpack and every other professional team out to say Super League clubs, I
Mhm.
think they were ready for. They weren't ready for to take the time to build an athlete. Like
Yeah.
how in the NFL sees potential of an Australian rugby league guy, Valentine Holmes or
Yeah.
Jared Hayne. And they say, "Oh, that's potential. Let's bring him over here. Let's teach him. Let's
Mm.
let's do this for him." It's not like that in the rugby league world. So I was really just trying to crack that code for the next 10 years, a guy like myself will have an easier transition and an easier way to get in, you know. But it was really like, I just felt like they just didn't have the time to train me or get me there. So it was really on myself. So that's when I really just started watching film every day. I really dove into rugby league, started watching the breakdowns, watched different from Elite One to Balkan Super League to League One to you know, everything. I just watched it. I just really dove in and just became a student of the game.
Yeah, it's brilliant that you're so dedicated to the game. So your next journey in rugby league was over in Serbia, where you represented Red Star Belgrade rugby league team. You scored 7 tries and made over 100 tackles as the Serbian team went undefeated during your time under Red Star. At this point, you'd clearly progressed from your time at Toronto, both in skill and athletically. But your recent videos featured on the Cleveland Rugby League Instagram page said the biggest challenge was the language barrier over when playing in Serbia. How did you learn to communicate on the pitch with your players, and were there any special techniques you learned to overcome the language barrier? Were you more using hand signals rather than verbally on the pitch? How did that play out?
To be honest, it was just up to me just to learn the language, learn the key terms. And it was on me. I had to really take notes. I had to write down the words and the meanings of all the words that they used, because it was think about it. These are Serbian players that's been playing with each other all their life, basically. And then it's me, the first American to come over to actually play and speak English. So I couldn't be the one to say, hey, you guys, you need to speak this in English. You know, I was coming to their country doing that. So I took it upon myself to learn their language to make it smoother for them, and also to help me out. Like I like expanding my mind and learning the language, you know. So I had to learn the difference between, right and left, cross, Chris, you know, just different words for everything. But I liked it, you know. I couldn't complain about it. That was another whole story within itself. It was basically a transition of Red Star Belgrade. I was in the middle of them just growing their name and just growing their brand. You know, like I was the first American to come over and get paid. We were on TV, national TV. We got embraced by the city. It was just a lot of things that that was happening within Red Star Belgrade that I was happy to be a part of. And I know they've seen a different type of player within myself to, you know, be able to play with them. So I know it was great on both ends.
Yeah, it's brilliant that you've had the opportunity to play for them and help expand their name in the world of rugby league, and playing both in England and obviously in Serbia with Red Star. How would you say obviously it's the same game, but how would you say the way the game's played compares from England, obviously in Serbia? Because obviously in England and the United Kingdom, rugby league, obviously it's not the biggest sport, but it's more advanced than say in Serbia, where they're still trying to grow the name of rugby league, like you said.
I think I'm definitely capable enough to answer this question. I feel like the one word that I can really say is structure. I feel like the UK rugby league scene has more structure than Serbian rugby scene. I feel like it's more of that the Serbians know each other. They know where they're going to be. Hey, you know, pass the ball like this. But I feel like it's more structure with the UK side of things. And I can say both countries do hit hard. But I'll tell you, those UK lads hit hard as ever. Yes, I miss those hits.
Yeah, mate. I'm sure you'll be getting a few of those hits when playing for Cleveland in the new North American Rugby League, which is soon to launch.
Definitely.
So we'll speak about that a bit now. You're back in the States, getting ready for the launch of the new North American Rugby League season, which kicks off in June. Cleveland have held combines to try and get a starting team for the opening round. Run me and the audience through the process of enrolling Cleveland into the new NARL.
Okay, so the process has been it's been crazy. It's still a process right now. So right now we're the only team right now that doesn't have a home game because we're still new. We're still working out our training situations and everything. Like I told you, in this whole league, we are the underdogs and we know that. But we have some dogs on our team. If you understand what I'm saying. So we're not holding that. We're not holding that. You know, for anything. We're ready to go. But it's just been a grind. You know, I'm working with 4 guys behind me who's been friends and family with me for 10 plus years, but they don't know anything about rugby league, but they all have played at the highest level of American football. So
Okay.
they're crossovers just like me, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they're crossovers in the business world now. So we have guys that know how to market. We're learning how to hit the market, as you see from our social media. We know how to market the league now. We know how to shop for actual rugby league players and also football player converts. So it's just been a process all around. We're finally getting our city in with the books. As you know, we got the book ABCs of Rugby League out. So now we're getting kids reading about rugby league. So that's just helping us get a part with that. And also, shout out to Matt Haynes. He's helped us out with making our logo design and some merchandise out to get out to the people also. So we're just doing everything that we can and everything that we can control to make sure we have a smooth transition with this and compete with every club.
Yeah, of course, and everyone loves a good underdog story. So hopefully we'll get to see how Cleveland Rugby League get on. The new NARL, for anyone listening, kicks off June 19th, the first game is. So make sure to tune in for that if you can. It's a brilliant concept, and I'm definitely rooting for Cleveland this season and the ones coming forward. So with the new NARL being the only professional league in the States, is there already an existing grassroots level of rugby league in America? And how are you going to attract people to take part in the sport, given the financial power of existing sports already in the States?
Well, right now we're doing a different type of approach. We're not going for the big name players right now. We wanted to attack with the big name coaches or director of rugby, for our instance, like Glenn Morrison. So that'll help us be more attractive to players. Let them know that we're about business. So we have somebody with that type of caliber, behind us. Then we want to get the players that we need. So that is actually has been happening. Since Glenn has been announced the director of rugby, he's been in talks with hundreds of players and athletes for just getting the opportunity to play here. So with us, we're trying locally so hard to get players, but now we got players overseas that really want to come here too. So it's just like, it's a bittersweet, you will wish more people locally would know more about rugby league and want to play, but it's also awesome that you got people that never step foot in USA or let alone Cleveland, Ohio, that would love to play for us. So, it's just a crazy story. That's why we're just doing so much about putting so much content out, because we want people to feel like they're here. We want people to feel like hey, I know Monte, or hey, I know Corey Graham, some of the players. We want people to really feel us. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want them to feel part of the Cleveland Rugby League family, so to say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's brilliant. And my thoughts personally is rugby league is, in my opinion, it's a sport that Americans will enjoy. They love that fast-paced contact sport. So in 5-10 years' time, given everything goes well, which I'm sure it will, rugby league could be a completely different sport with the new North American Rugby League, and it could take off. And by that point, you could have a massive fan base of rugby league in America. So it's good that you're trying to get overseas players in, get your local community involved, as well as getting some experienced coaches, director of rugby league upstairs to help control the club and make sure it's stable for the future, which is brilliant for the sport and obviously Cleveland. So with two Canadian teams competing in the NARL in Toronto and Ottawa, I can't not ask you about Toronto. Obviously, things weren't all sunshines and rainbows when Toronto came to Super League and played over in England. Although they did attract some big names, such as Sonny Bill Williams, who is debatably the biggest name of rugby ever to live. Do you think Toronto were fast-tracked into Super League too quickly, and do you feel the foundations are more important than just a huge financial investment?
I believe everything happened for a reason. I believe they got there on their own, and I really can't speak on that too much just because I only don't know the in-depths about it. I'm an outsider, just like everyone else. And I really don't like to give my opinions about, since now I'm in the position of owning my own club, I don't like to give my opinions about, how people are carrying other clubs. I was just do a no comment on that, but I feel like I can't say anything bad about Toronto or the situation only because they really helped, pinpoint or spark my career up, So I give all the praise and all the grace to Toronto and that whole organization, because without Toronto, you probably wouldn't hear my name at all, So. that's my part on that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And obviously, like I said, obviously things didn't work out with Toronto in Super League. But I think
Mhm.
trying to get Toronto enrolled into Super League and involved with the British game helped see a future for a whole new league in America, which is there is
Definitely.
now. Because Toronto attracted a lot of fans to their games
Mhm.
and obviously the season they were in Super League, no fans, so obviously weren't the best time to get them in Super League, and obviously they did pull out. But that story of Toronto and
Mhm.
giving them the
Yes.
chance brought up new opportunities and it's brung along a
Definitely.
whole new storyline for this league in
Yes.
America, which is so obviously, like you said, everything happens for a reason, and maybe without Toronto and the experience, it might not. It could have been a couple more years since we saw this league in America. So although it didn't work out
Yeah.
in Super League, it's brung along new opportunities for the sport, which is the best thing, obviously, for the sport.
Exactly. So in my eyes, that it did really work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out in England, but long term, it's worked out in America, where realistically, that's the best place for Toronto. It's close to home.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Hmm.
it's an American type sport. Build the game in America. It's everything you want, really.
Correct.
So, with you being the founder of Cleveland Rugby League, you'll of course want to be a team that younger children aspire to play for, just like younger kids will aspire to play for their favorite NFL teams. Do you have any plans for junior development with Cleveland Rugby League and for the near future to try and get the kids more involved with rugby league?
Yes, of course. So it's going to be tough, of course, to not have a actual home game here to be able to show the people here what rugby league looks like in your backyard. So
Yep.
what we're doing, we're going to partner with the Cleveland Muni League, and that's where I started playing football at the age of 10 when I was sneaking to the practices.
Yeah.
Those teams, we're going to have. I'm personally going to have a tackle clinic for those kids. I'm going to
Okay.
show them how we tackle in rugby league, and then that's how I just ease my way on having rugby league balls there and showing them different ways. So,
Yeah.
we won't
Yeah.
even have a football there. They're going to ask questions about what is this ball? What is this sport? So I'm sneaking my way in there also with that. And then of course with the book, that's how we get the younger ones,
Mhm.
involved by just learning about it and just being interested. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm another reason why I give so much content and always hashtagging Monte Gaddis, because there's going to be a kid who loves my story and he's not going to play or she's not going to play American football. They're going to play rugby league
Yeah.
because they like
Yeah.
how the story ended. It's not
Mhm.
about how it starts, it's about how the story ends. So I feel like this is not the end of my story, but this is a good part of the story where I can attract kids in the USA and kids of my background.
Yeah, of course, it's brilliant what you're doing for the sport. Getting a whole new, realistically, in my eyes and a lot of other fans' eyes, this is a completely new thing for America. Like I said
Mhm.
earlier, they've not really
Definitely.
experienced rugby league. So with the help from you, Cleveland Rugby League, and everyone else in this league, it opens eyes to everyone,
Mhm.
all the younger generation, the fans. It opens new eyes and new opportunities for the sport. So it's brilliant that you're trying to get some more kids involved with your book, obviously, and
Yes.
everything else you're doing, which is brilliant. So, like you mentioned before, from what I'm aware of, Cleveland seems to be a working class area, similar
Yes.
to many English rugby towns. What's the response been like from the locals so far when it comes to the NARL and Cleveland Rugby League?
Oh, it's been fine. I can't say it's been where I wanted at. Because
Mm-hmm.
I always want more, and I always want more people to tune in what we got going on. But there's been nothing but positive feedback. I can't say one negative thing about it, but there's been a lot of positive feedback. We've been passing out stickers to the youth. We've been stamping stickers everywhere just so people can get acclimated. We
Yeah.
finally got our training facility on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's an
Mm-hmm.
open field, which is at my old high school, but there's always athletes on the field or people working out. So people are starting to,
Yeah.
ask, what is that sport or what's going on? So,
Mm.
it's still creeping up on there. Again, this is why I'm on my social media, pumping it out,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Twitter or on Instagram or YouTube and just really showing them what we're really about. Because even though they don't ask while we're there, they're going to go home and go look on Instagram or go look
Mm.
on YouTube and type in Cleveland Rugby League, and I'm making sure that what they see is what we put in front of them. That everything is nice, professional.
Yeah, of course, and it helps them seeing your story, Cleveland Rugby League, helps them get more involved with the game, which is the best thing, obviously, for them, for you, and for the greater good of the game. So before we get on to the quickfire questions, you did mention that you had some questions to ask me on my podcast.
Yes.
So we'll let you ask a few of them questions, mate. So whenever you're ready, you can ask a few of them.
All right, cool. I just want to just give you a shout out and just say, man, I don't even know you, first time meeting you, but I'm so proud of you, man. And I really want you to just to keep going at this. Just this whole conversation, I can just feel the passion and the vibes that you got. It's really something special that you got. You got the personality. You even got the voice for it. It's funny actually. It's amazing. I can definitely see you. I'm already envisioning it in the future. Calling out some games. Just doing what your dreams hold for you. I'm just proud of you of that. And I just want to ask. So, what's your full name? You know, give a background about yourself. Your full name. Did you play any type of rugby league? Your age and stuff. So just give your background. You know.
Yeah. So my name's Stephen McLaughlin. Come from a family in Warrington, which is a rugby league town. I don't live in Warrington, so I've never had the opportunity to play grassroots rugby league, but it's always been something involved in my life, obviously. My dad's side of the family, pretty much everyone is from Warrington. They're all huge Warrington fans, and so am I. I've been going to the games since I can remember. I've been to grand finals at Old Trafford in Manchester. I've been to Wembley Stadium in London. Like I've experienced a lot of things in rugby league. Obviously, from where I live at the moment, it's not, rugby league isn't massive because I don't live in Warrington. But with rugby league being involved in my life a lot, that's the reason I started this podcast. You know, I can drive my passion and, you know, bring forward my views on the game in the best way possible, and get to know players like yourself, names of the sport, to help widen my knowledge of the game and help me get to where I want to be when I'm older, as well as giving the fans something to listen to, something for them to get involved with, and just overall help the game as much as I possibly can. Really, that's my goals for the future with rugby league.
That is awesome. For anybody that's listening or watching this, you know, please tune in, subscribe to his channel, give him a follow. Let's make this young man become a star. You know, this is I could just see it right now, and I hope everybody's feeling the same way. And I'm gonna give it to you. If there's anything that you need help from with Cleveland Rugby League, the NARL, or even me personally, I'm here for you. You know, I love to support greatness, and you got something great going on. Keep that same passion, and trust me, I'll do the same thing. We will connect soon again.
Yeah, I'd love to connect with Cleveland, yourself, and obviously the NARL, because like I mentioned, my passion is rugby league, and to help expand my knowledge and help me get further to where I want to be, people like you who are willing to help, it means a lot. So thank you for that, mate.
You got it, man. Just keep it going, man. That's it.
All right.
That's all I really had. I just really wanted you to, you know, use my pedestal to, you know, be able to say what you got going on and where you're from and stuff too, because it goes both ways. You know, you got to promote me, I got to promote you. You know.
Yeah, thanks for that, because we've never really had anything like that on the podcast before. So you coming on, it helps me get out what I want to get out as well.
Yeah.
So definitely. Thanks for that opportunity. And with those questions, I think it's a brilliant way to finish off the podcast and roll into the quickfire questions like we usually do. To ease off the podcast, you know, it's something a little less serious, you know, for the fans. Yep. So we'll start off. First question: what is your favorite Super League team?
Ooh, my favorite Super League team. Wow, you're just gonna hit me with that.
Would you maybe say Leeds or Castleford for their first game, maybe?
Yeah, I'll definitely go Leeds just because I've been to 2 of their matches. I like a few of their players, so I'll take Leeds, and I live there, so yeah.
All right, so Leeds Rhinos fan here. We'll move to Australia. Question 2 is: what is your favorite NRL team?
Oh, I think everybody knows that. It's the Eels for me. You know, I've been a Semi Rogers fan for a while, and I've just been loving them ever since then. You know, him, and then especially Jerry Hayne and everybody. So I'll definitely say the Eels.
Yeah, and they're a decent team as well. Sometimes they don't. Yeah. They're a bit inconsistent, but they've got the talent, and they're a nice nice team to watch. Which is definitely. Pardon, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was going to say I'm definitely loving it right now, especially with Sevo and Ferguson Jennings. Man, they got some athletes out there. I like it.
Yeah, they have the talents to entertain, and people watch rugby league to be entertained. So that's
Yeah.
brilliant, mate. Question 3. What's your first choice of drink on a night out?
It depends. My first choice of drink is really water, and I know
Okay.
everybody that plays with me, everybody that's played with me is going to vouch for that.
Yeah.
Second drink will probably be it's funny. If I was at home in the U.S., it would be a Red Bull.
Yeah.
If I was in the U.K., I'll definitely ask for a Lucozade.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but my third one will probably be a Angry Orchard, some type of smooth alcoholic beverage, something like that. But I'm not a big drinker at all.
Okay, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. It differs from America to the UK. Obviously, Lucozade, a very nice drink over in the UK.
Yeah,
So I don't blame you for choosing
I
that
miss
one, mate.
them.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's a question 4. If you were in prison and had one last choice of any meal, what would you choose to eat?
I'm gonna just answer this question that I'm not going to prison, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not going. I'm not.
let's say what's your favorite food to eat then. Let's say that.
Okay. My favorite food, glazed donuts, man. I'm a fat
Mm.
boy. I'm sorry, man. I can't. I love creams, Dunkin Donuts. Do you have a Dunkin Donuts over there?
it we have it, but it's not really as big as
Okay.
what it is in America. But yeah.
What about Krispy Kremes?
Yeah, we have both. See, this is the thing, right? In America, you have all these big brands, and then they come
Yeah.
over to the UK, but they're not as big. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, we
You
do
got
have
it.
them, and they are nice. So don't blame me for that one, mate. The next question, if you had to support any other NFL team apart from the Cleveland Browns, who would it have to be?
I would just say, I would say the New England Patriots because I played college football there at Dean College. I played in Massachusetts. I just love it because their fans are just
Yeah,
Patriots fans. Like they're only you will never see a different type of jersey in Massachusetts. So I just like it because of the loyalty.
yeah, definitely, mate. And finally, question 6: how many tries will we be seeing from you in this coming season?
Oh, I won't give you the number of tries because every time I say how many tries I will have, I don't get it. So I'll guarantee you, I want to have more try assists than tries this year. I want to get
Right,
my players involved.
you're gonna be
I want to get my players
yeah,
involved.
you're gonna be a team player. That's what we like to see, mate. That's what we like to see.
Definitely.
But
I got to spread the love.
yeah, it's always good to set yourself goals, mate. And you seem to know what your visions are for the future of Cleveland Rugby League and for yourself, which is brilliant. So before we finish off today's episode, is there anything you'd like to say to any young listeners who want to make it in the world of rugby league or any sports, whether they're from America, Canada, the UK, or anywhere else in the world? What personally would you like to say to them?
Personally, me, I would just tell them just whatever you want to do, no matter if it's a sport, fashion designer, architect, engineer, no matter what it is, just get up and go do it. At
Hmm.
the end of the day, all you have at the end of the day is yourself. You can't ask your mom to do this. You can't ask your friend to do this. You have to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you want it, you got to go get it. And you also have to separate yourself. You can't keep doing the same thing that your other teammates or your other friends are doing. If you're doing those same things, you're gonna have the same results. You have to separate yourself. Maybe you have to wake up earlier and get a workout before you go to school, and
Mm.
then get your workout with the other team. Or maybe you have to run 5 more laps every day than everybody else. You have to figure out what you can do to separate yourself. And start now by eating healthy. Start now by drinking more water, eating more fruits, and really look at your fast food intake. I won't tell you to stop eating fast food, but really look at what you're intaking, and it's just health really starts now. And just because knowledge is power. Without your legs or without your physical abilities, you still got to have your mind. So just read.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? This is your strongest tool. So use that tool and just don't be afraid to reach out and network. All right.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant words there. I agree with everything, mate. You've got to separate yourself from the rest and prove what you got to show everyone what you can bring to the table. And everyone else is different. So whatever it is that helps you separate yourself from the others, just stick with it. And you're a prime example of sticking with it and getting to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So people didn't, the clubs that you wanted to join, like Cleveland, You didn't get trials with them.
Mhm.
You didn't sign a contract with Toronto, but you keep pushing yourself,
Right.
and now you where you are today, which is just a brilliant story. And I'm really grateful to have you on the show today. You've been a brilliant guest. Thanks for joining us. It's been absolutely brilliant, mate. I couldn't have asked for anything more from you. I can't wait for the new North American Rugby League season to start.
Awesome.
As I'm sure you and the Cleveland boys can't wait as well. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's a brand new step for Rugby League, and I'm sure it'll work out absolutely brilliantly. Cleveland is definitely a team I'll be supporting, and I encourage everyone else who's listening to go and support Cleveland. Drop them a follow, show them your support, because they really are a brilliant team, and Monte Gaddis here is a brilliant man. So thanks again for joining us. It's been brilliant, mate. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm just really glad that I could get you on the show today.
All right. Thank you, man. And always remember, slow feet, don't eat. Let's go.
Of course, mate. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right. You have a great one.
Thanks again to our podcast partner, Recovery, for sponsoring today's episode. Head over to recovery.com to check out their range of all natural products, and remember to use the code DROPGOAL in all capitals, no space, at checkout for 10% off your order.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't